A little knowledge that acts is worth infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. Khalil Gibran. Let's jump into these markets we see. Stocks up again today. Bonds down as they should be, and gold way down. We also see Bitcoin losing for the day. We see real estate as it should be with that weekly vertical crossover that just went into effect. Listen to this, up 3.21%. Oil up just a little bit. Let's jump into these charts. Hey, we had a great, lengthy question and answer, the monthly Q&A for our Patreon members, the special training we do for them. If you're not a Patreon member, you missed out. If you are a Patreon member, if you couldn't join us, I recorded everything and emailed it to you. So I want you to enjoy it. You got a video waiting in your inbox. Now, and a special training today also. This is a really good one. It's a brand new one. It's the newest one I've done, the Magic of the Weekly Vertical Crossover. If you're a subscriber, you'll see it in your show notes. If you're not, you won't. But you can be a subscriber for free. Go to chartingwealth.com, sign up. Let's jump in. What's going on with the S&P 500? 1.37% up. Look at that beautiful candle. Look at how beautiful things are. We had that weekly vertical crossover back on the 8th. And check out the movement. Prices well above the weekly and above the 2-day and above the 4-hour. Look at that nice big candle hitting higher highs. Is it not wonderful? Is the magic of the weekly vertical crossover not there for all to see? Go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? Well, we see things just moving up like a stair step. And of course, this is the first day of the latest 2-day candle. This is just Wednesday, but look at how it's up there. Top of the Bollinger Band, price percent oscillator going up, derivative oscillator heading up. Go to the 4-hour chart. Look at that. Price percent oscillator moving up in the morning, higher in the afternoon. Price well above every trend line we have. Is that not absolutely gorgeous? It just keeps on keeping on. How does it do it? Why does it do it? I can't tell you, my friends, but again, if you're trying to have reasons from the news, I read an article today. In fact, I just threw it away. I shared it with the Patreon members this afternoon. Heard on the Street, the nearly nihilistic market rally by Mike Bird from the Wall Street Journal. And he gives us all these insane reasons as to why things are going up. Listen to this madness. Analysts note that a year's earnings doesn't matter much to a company's valuation under a discounted cash flow model. As long as earnings bounce back next year or even the year after, a likely lower for longer interest rate is enough to justify gravity-defying stock markets. Is that not the biggest bunch of BS you've ever heard? Just insane. But you know what? We don't care. Why? We do care, but what are we doing now? We are following these charts, and they are going up. When they come down, they're going to come down hard, my friends. They're going to come down so hard because there's no productivity to balance any of this. It's just money printing. But in the meantime, we're going to ride it higher and higher and higher in these practice trades. Is it not exciting to see things go? And this is the summertime trading zone when things are supposed to stink. Look how good things are doing. Look at the Qs, the NASDAQ 100, up 0.45%. Check out the weekly chart. Higher high, nice green up candle. Look at those stair steps running right up a massively strong trend line. Price percent oscillator heading up, derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. What can I tell you? It's the same day after day. 4-hour chart going up, derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator up in the morning. That's the 2-day, I'm sorry. First day of this latest 2-day up for this day. Let me go to the 4-hour. Skipped ahead of myself. It's up in the morning, further up in the afternoon. Price above the 2-day and the weekly. And again, it's crazy. I can't explain it, but I can tell you that we will ride it as long as it goes. And we will follow these trends, and we will make successful practice trade after successful practice trade. Remember what it's usually like in the summertime trading zone? Crappy. There's not a lot of volume. Not a lot of stuff going on, hard to track. But my friends, it is working well for us. We just go from one success to another. Look at the 20-year bond. Look at it. It crossed over going down this last week. And of course, 2 weeks ago. And of course, what does it do? It continues to accelerate down. Look at this latest candle hammering down. Price percent oscillator moving down, derivative oscillator moving down. Now remember, we're either in puts, that is options that make money when things go down. You're either in a practice trade on that, or TBF, which is the ProShares Inverse Fund. And of course, what's it doing? It's tracking up. Now again, it's priced different because it's a different fund, but is the short, the inverse. If you've not taken that training, I want you to make sure you take, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stick it at the end of today's training. Inverse funds, how to make money when markets crash. It's all about using inverse funds for your practice trades when things are going down. And TBF has been doing quite well for us as the underlying fund, TLT, has been going down. And again, it's beautiful to see down 1.33% for the day. Weekly trending down, 2-day trending down, getting bigger and bigger candles, and that 4-hour chart down in the morning, plumbed the depths in the morning, and then further moving at least the body of the candle down in the afternoon. Look at that price percent oscillator dropping off the deep end and derivative oscillator. It's beautiful. That's where we are, folks, as far as bonds and stocks go. Lastly, we go to gold. Not the biggest downer for the day. Of our 4 charts, yes, Bitcoin's down even more, but we'll get to that in a moment. Gold down 1.85%. Look at what's happening. We might end the week with a weekly vertical crossover going down on gold, give you a chance to short it. And again, getting into an inverse gold fund is hard because they're so illiquid, not typically a good thing to do. But keep your eye on it. We'll see if we get a weekly vertical crossover. I'm going to change it up a little too in the future. Instead of telling you on Friday, I'm going to give you a heads up on Thursday with our texting service. If you live in the States and you receive our text, that's great. We got several thousand people. If you're not one of them, you need to text to the number 33222. Okay, that's 33222. Text one word, charting wealth together. If you'll do that, it'll sign you up for our service. And when we do have weekly vertical crossovers, we're going to give you a warning. Instead of doing it on Friday, we're going to let you know on Thursday from now on so that you can jump into that practice trade before the market closes on Friday. And that might be happening with gold. We'll let you know. So we see the price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator still positive. Price percent oscillator looks like it's getting awfully close to crossing over going down. We see the 2-day chart crossed over going down all the way back on the 11th of May. Then it went up for 6 days, sideways for a long time. And now we see the first day of this latest 2-day candle really dropping off. We go to the 4-hour chart, and you can see basically 1.5 days of down movement. So again, gold really taking the hammer today. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on our 4 big charts. We've got more charts to cover, but if you're just interested in the 4 that we cover, traditionally, you're done. And I just sent out a whole bunch of books today, all over the world, all over the States. If you haven't gotten the 2nd edition of our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth, man, you need it. It's updated, fully updated with all the new things that we have developed since I wrote the first book. And of course, I'm still working on optionable wealth. But what I am sharing with everyone quite often is that 3-part training that ended yesterday on Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. Absolutely free, hardcore, good stuff. Everything you need to know to start practice trading options. Not wasting your time with hours of endless stuff that is not practical. As you guys know, we boil it all down. We try to find what works. We do find what works, and that's what we focus on. So buy our book, become a Patreon supporter, join us on those monthly calls, get all the free special stuff we have for you, and we appreciate those Patreon folks that help us with all the bills that we incur around here. Now, let's move on to Bitcoin. Down for the day, 3.79%. Remember, we had that crossover going up on Bitcoin, weekly vertical crossover back on the week ending the 8th of May. What it's really done since then is slide sideways, but this latest candle trying to move up, but a big down day on for today, a really big down day on Wednesday. We see the price percent oscillator still going up, derivative oscillator losing a little bit of momentum. Go to the 2-day chart, check it out. We've got a red open box candle forming. Now that's a slowdown in the up move. It's not a solid red candle yet, but a big down day. Price percent oscillator heading down, still positive. Derivative oscillator still positive, losing momentum. Not a good day for Bitcoin. Go to the 4-hour chart, up in the morning and then losing things off in the afternoon. Red spinning, top indecision, tending down. So again, not so hot a day for Bitcoin. We'll continue. Now, remember, we did have that 4-hour crossover on Bitcoin that gave you an opportunity to jump in if you wanted to use that weakest opportunity we have on a 4-hour recross, but it's still done well for you. Continue to watch. Make sure that you have your loss parameters set for your practice trade. And again, get used to Bitcoin. Of course, the best way to have gotten used to it would have been to jump in when things crossed over. But again, keep practicing. You're going to learn this. Now, let's go to real estate. Man, has that crossover last week not been good to you? Weekly vertical crossover, somewhere around the 77 mark. As high as what? Within 3 days, 82, 77, the high. Is that not gorgeous? That's very gorgeous. That's the power of the weekly vertical crossover. Price percent oscillator heading up, derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Beautiful 2-day chart. What do we see? We see this latest 2-day candle pushing above the Bollinger Band. That's just the first day, so there's more to come. Derivative oscillator heading up, price percent oscillator heading up. 4-hour chart. Nice, up in the morning and going up in the afternoon. Don't think it hit the high that it hit in the morning, but pretty close. That's beautiful. Again, that weekly vertical crossover still in effect, quite strong just 3 days in. What about oil? Well, we can see the price percent oscillator trying to move up on that weekly chart, still negative. Derivative oscillator has gone positive. 3 weeks of green up candles, well, 2.5 weeks or so. And again, that's nice to see. 2-day chart is about flat on the derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator heading up, trying to tick up, but gold's got a hell of a lot to recover. So we're waiting for that weekly crossover at some point. Hopefully that will come. 2-day or the 4-hour chart up in the morning and a little pulling back in the afternoon. So again, we'll keep our eye on gold, but we're paying a lot of attention to what's going on with that weekly vertical crossover that happened this last week in real estate, which has been so good to you guys who practice traded that. Seeing if gold is going to cross over by the end of the week, going down, give us a chance to short that and continue to just take the profits that are coming in on the S&P and the Qs, and of course the downplay on TLT. Friends, I've never seen a summer like this. This is the sucky time. It's almost always the crappy time. It's not now. And you know what? Get while the getting's good. Make hay when the sun is shining. I hope you are learning a lot. Practice trading as much as you can. 10 to 15 minutes a day is all we ask. If you want to know what we do here and you want to really understand it, that book, Charting Your Way to Wealth, will help you out. Follow the link in the show notes. If you live overseas, email me, cw@chartingwealth.com. For some reason, Square won't clear your foreign credit card, but PayPal will send you a PayPal invoice. Pay that. We'll get your book out to you. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.